Okay, so we're going to start this video now today, Steve, looking at your grip position. And both of these grips, as you can see, are pretty much exactly the same, okay? The V's and the lines that your sort of little thumb and forefinger are making there are going up kind of towards your left shoulder, which is great. So nothing really different there, okay? And if I zoom out and we just look at your shoulders and how more relaxed you look on that right-hand one, your chest just looks wider, where this just looks kind of like your elbows pinched in. Look at the gap between your elbows there and there. This is kind of like a shrugged in with the shoulder. Just looks very kind of awkward, very kind of cramped and a bit kind of an unnatural position. So because of that now, you're not able to swing as freely. You're putting more stress on your back and your body to try to make that rotation. And again, you're going to come back with a square club face because both the grip positions now are very, very good. But in the act of bringing the club face back square, you're just putting yourself under more undue stress. Yeah. You don't want to be standing with a right arm. A lot of people, when they get told to change their grip or strengthen their grip is basically this sort of rotation in my forearm here now. I've either got a weak grip with my hand this way or a strong grip with my palm facing down this way. What I don't want to do is go and change it massively from the shoulder, okay? The grip, as I say, constitutes that. It's not a combination of that and all kind of strength, because once this shoulder then comes out, if you put this shoulder now on this elbow, kind of you see almost pinching for the bicep, kind of pushing out there a little bit. If he now goes up, it actually puts your arm now, you can see almost more across your chest. You see your right arm there hanging down your right side there, and look at your right arm, there's a bit more sort of like t-shirt showing, where you sort of you've pulled it across here. It just doesn't really look as natural to swing. In terms of the movement now, say from this right hand one now, okay, good shoulder turn, top of the back in the club face now, perfectly square. I mean, that's really good club face position there now, okay? As you start swinging through into the golf ball, bring that golf club back square, your hands are returning back to their natural position, and right the way through to a very, very balanced weight on that right side kind of finished position now. Left foot kicking in, hips are fully rotated around there. Very, very good, efficient movement. But I think it'll be more and more efficient the less we can get out of this position, where you kind of almost like your arms kind of just looks a little bit awkward to me. And I think if we start off with that position when we're not warmed up, you could just putting stress on your bicep, your shoulder. And for me, golf swings, as much as you want to get people to the ball straighter, my number one and sole purpose in coaching is to get people to have a golf swing that's healthy. So you can go and play 2 or 3 games a week and not walk off going like, oh my God, I'm in bits. Because that's the thing, I can get guys making swings at the ball as long as they can, but if they walk off the next day, and the one thing I would say is my worst sort of pet peeve, should we say, but one thing I sort of really hate is people when they come to lessons and go, got a bit of bad back, I'll just check a few ibuprofen before I go and play. I'm like, if you're popping pills before you go and play in case you get a bad back, or it's like, what sort of life is that? I mean, it's just like just chucking in stuff in your body unnecessarily. It can't lead to good things down the line, can it? So we want to make sure that we're making the swing healthy, and if the arm is kind of just sitting in a more relaxed position, you can get a lot more speed. This one here was on the right hand side, okay, was your 231 yard drive. This one here was 183 or 172 yard drive. Both at the fairway. Yeah. Both were fairly straight. Both had a slight little bit of fade, but one went 50, 60 yards further. Only because your arm was more relaxed and you could create that speed rather than locking this shoulder and elbow, and now nothing's going to move, Because if the arm's locked, everything else to try and work around that's got to kind of like lunge and heave together, Does that kind of make sense? Is that visual kind of showcase now what we're looking for then, Steve, So if we can just make sure, and again, in terms of practice, like I say, if you're at home or on the range or on the golf course playing, this is kind of the visual we're looking at today. We looked at that down the line last time with the path, which the path now for me is looking a lot more kind of into the ball as opposed to going this way, okay? So on occasion gets a bit in between those two lines, should we say, but for the most part we're getting more and more down the fairway. But today, looking at this visual, if you're on the course, on the range, or even just at home practicing, take a video, take a picture, face on and go, how's my grip looking, Gareth, okay? Is my grip looking good? So what we don't want you to do is go from being here to sort of trying to get the arm to relax more, and then the right hand starting to go back to the other direction again. So it's just keeping on top of these changes. So
still these hands, isn't it? It's
golf's hands. Golf's a game of hands. The best golfers are the best hands. Whether you're chipping, putting or driving, okay? Someone asked Tiger Woods, when you swing the golf club, what do you feel in your hips? He said, what? He said, all I try to do is get the club face back to the ball square with my hands. He said, when you walk down the street, what do you think about your hips? Well, they kind of move when you walk. I mean, don't think about when you walk down the street, all you think about is one leg going in front, you go, this leg goes in front. So walking is a foot exercise, No one thinks about your hips when you go, oh, my hips got to... If you started to... And it's the same old kind of, almost that kind of comedic kind of joke of, when you're getting a new pair of shoes and your wife says, oh, just walk to me normally, darling. You go, like, how's a normal kind of, what do I walk normally like? Yeah? If you just let things happen, you just walk fine. It's like when you play golf. You're attached to the golf club by these hands, okay? That's what's going to square the club face up. Yes, your body will get in positions to help that, certainly. There are times I've obviously given lessons where people's body is out of position, so we'll adjust the body movement, okay? But for the most part, if you can get these working to control that club face, which means you have to have them on the club in a way that's going to help you do that. And your natural arm hang is such. So look, if that's how your natural arm hang's going to be, we start putting forces on that. As you swing that golf club, force has been put on that arm to square that club face up. If you start off round here, you've now got to try to... It's just not going to work, Steve, is it? It's just really... Or it would work on occasions when 7 wrongs make a right, and that's the frustration that golfers often have. They let the ball really straight once or twice, oh, I've got it, but not know what they've done or how they've done it. The ball goes 250 down, they go, what happened there? And then actually they duff 30 yards through their legs. Because there's so many variables going on that when it all managed to click together, it works.
And that's when you start tweaking and then...
Oh, I mean, how many times you're on the golf course and you've had mates chucking advice your way and you're on the 10th tee with about 7 different swing thoughts and the ball then scuttles out of bounds and you swing one way left and it's just all over the place, isn't it? So if we can get that club in the hands in the correct position, get that club returning back to the ball square, then you can start trusting, and that's the biggest thing, trusting that you don't need to start the ball too far to the right. The ball is now not curving left that much in the air anymore now. I think in all of the 15, 20 swings you made today, I think you've had one that's been over 1,000 left, where you think the last lesson you had one that was under 1,000. So change on that has been massive. Okay, mate? Make sense?
Yeah.
Good man. I'll have a couple more then.